It's been great here at ETHDenver. So this is my first time in America, first conference, first hackathon. So everything has been a first and it has been a joy.
It was really great to meet all the people in the space. There are so many different creative people doing all different types of projects.
Oh, it's fantastic, amazing, and so many hackers, and I like to stay here.
It's a different experience meeting people in person, and you can get questions answered a lot easier, so you can kind of get the inside scoop when you're over here talking to people in person.
Coming out here to ETHDenver is just this incredible opportunity for us to meet with developers and help to bring the tools that they need to make this world even better.
We are, just kind of like having a social awakening, and I believe that this is going to be huge.
I enjoyed building on a project with you. That was it was a great experience, and I look forward to my next hackathons.
Guys, we're bringing to the stage someone you all know and love. One of the founders of ETHDenver, my favorite person in the whole world. He took a chance on me, and I just love John. He takes a chance on artists, creators, developers, investors, literally anyone. I mean, can I have a round of applause for anyone that knows John and what he does for you? John is changing lives. John changed my life. Thank you for having me. I love you. Guys, make it loud for John Peller.
All right, can I get my slides up? There we go. Welcome to Closing Ceremonies, folks. Did y'all have fun? What the hell was that? Did you have fun or what? That's better. I mean, my favorite part is like right now, thinking back while everything's fresh. Makerspace, arcade games, BUIDLer houses, conversations, the shill villages. I mean, my God, did you get lost? I got lost, and it's amazing. So we're gonna talk just a little bit about some housekeeping, and then I'm gonna hand the mic to Jason. We're gonna get the projects up here, which is actually what we're here for, not listening to me talk. So GM, Buffcorn friends, did y'all enjoy the year of the spork? Y'all gonna come back next year? Anybody wanna guess what the character is gonna be for next year? Anybody? What? Narwhal? Maybe. The year of the spork whale, folks. So what this means, the year of the spork whale is about ownership but contribution. So we don't use the word VIP anymore. Spork whale is an earned thing. Now you can contribute economically, but as a contributor, as you earn more spork, you become a deeper and deeper owner in the ecosystem. So if you remember, we're a cooperative. We're a Colorado cooperative DAO, and the unit of account that we use to denote the ownership is the spork token. So for everybody here, remember to claim your spork when that comes available, because that denotes your ownership in the DAO. So next year, we're gonna be talking a lot more about this notion of ownership, contribution, and participation in DAOs, and what it means to become a spork whale in the Spork DAO and ETHDenver community. Now, in a second, I actually didn't queue it up, but I'm gonna do this. During the presentations, I'm gonna pick somebody who's gonna get upgraded to VIP status. If you like my tweet that's gonna come out in like 1 minute, follow me, like, and retweet, and you will get upgraded to hang out at the after party, the closing party, VIP with me. Now, a little foreshadowing alpha here. Now, the ETHDenver community is global, 115 countries represented this year. Lots of people. But not everybody can come. Visas are hard, travel's expensive, everything costs a lot of money. So we are going to be exploring BUIDL Europe and BUIDL Asia. So it may happen this year. We're currently negotiating with some countries and building partnerships with the state of Colorado and those countries to actually have some cross-pollination happening. And we'll pair it with SporkFest, which is our innovation festival, and it will be owned by you. So the Spork DAO community will own these events in addition. So more to come on that. So when it's all done, what will happen is ETHDenver will be called the Super Bowl. It's kind of a fitting time of year. And then these other events will be sort of feeder events to give more access to people who aren't able to travel. Now, most importantly, everybody knows the internet sucked, so you can tell us all about it. We did end up fixing it eventually, but a little bloody late. But in any case, we do want to hear about how we can improve. So it's a one-question survey. Scan it right now. Please go in and actually, it's super simple to do. Give us your feedback. Tell us how you think we might be able to improve. Do you like the venue? Do you like the food? Do you like the environment? Do you like the art? What do you like? What don't you like? We're happy to hear all of it. We do look at everything. So don't think that we don't care. Because we do. Last year, for example, we heard about long lines and shitty bathrooms, excuse the pun. But if you were at ETHDenver last year, you know what I mean. And this year, it's going to be something else. The internet didn't work so great, so please tell us about it. You don't need to be mean, but we know. And whatever else. So no holds barred, feel free. Let us know how we're doing. Closing party tonight is now. It's happening. Right after this, we're going to do a quick changeover, and it's going to start almost immediately. The lineup musically is insane. The building will still have some activations going on. I ran into Garrett Chance downstairs near the Doge car in the Buffacorn Biddle Brigade Lounge. There's going to be some DDP happening down there about 5:30. And there's going to be all sorts of other cool stuff going on. So stick around. It's going to be a ton of fun, and we're going to go pretty late. So we'll see you all there. And last but not least, you know, I'll just share my thoughts on this. Like, listening to the stories of how ETHDenver changes lives, it's why we do it. It's the reason why we do it, to give people the creative space and the opportunity to express themselves in a way that's meaningful to them is why I get up and do this stuff. Because trust me, this is a lot of work. And thank you to our stewards, our meta stewards, our crew, volunteers, security staff, everybody that put this thing on. There's over 600 people on staff that put this thing together. So please, a round of applause for them. So I have to say, I'm a heavy critic of events. Imagine that. And I travel around the world. I go to conferences everywhere. There's a reason why we don't call this a conference. We actually prefer the Community Innovation Festival vibe. And I have to say, this year did not disappoint. And it's not me. I just put up the tent and allow people to come in and do their thing. But another round of applause for you. Because the vibe in this building over the past 4 days was special in a way that means a lot to me. So thank you for your own contributions, and I'll look forward to doing some more with you. So that's all for me. I am going to give the microphone to my friend Jason Lee. And I'll say it again. I said this at BUIDL Week kickoff. Jason, thank you for not dying. Congratulations. This is probably the hardest working man in the building. The hackathon, the BUIDLathon as we call it, is probably the most difficult thing to manage. The moving parts and pieces, the fail points, the complexities, the technologies. Good job, dude. So thank you so much, Jason Lee. Please give him a round of applause. And with that, this is the last you're going to see of me, so another round of applause for that. And I'll see everybody at the after party. Jason, awesome. Do your thing.
Thanks, man. Got it. How you doing? You guys have a good week? All right. Cool. So we just wrapped up the first round of community judging. We had 95 judges participate in judging all the projects. I'm going to kind of go through a recap of what's about to happen, and then I'm going to call on all the different teams that are participating in our closing ceremony. So actually, I'm going to flip that. If you know that you are in the top 18, yes, we've switched it from top 15 to top 18. If you could move over, Derek has his hands up high in the air. If you know that you're a part of the top 18, if you could go check in with him, we're gonna start getting you guys in order. That way when I'm done, Danny can do the intro and then we'll get right into the projects. All right, so total prizes for this year. We ended up with $1.3 million in bounties. We had 180 bounties total that came from all of our incredible judges. So thank you to them. And then in addition to that, we had over $2 million in investments that are available to different projects that participated in this year. So pretty impressive in regards to where we were last year. So what does the second round of judging look like for tonight? So it says top 15. We actually decided after watching all the infrastructure and scalability to actually add 3 additional teams to participate. So that's actually now top 18 teams for round 1 were advanced to the main stage to present in front of our upcoming celebrity panel of judges. So you'll notice up here there are 2 stages or 2 podiums. Podium 1, one team will be presenting, and then the second team will be getting ready. If you've ever attended Warped Tour, it's pretty similar to that. The way that this works is that each team will get 2 minutes and 30 seconds to pitch their idea to the judges. Judges will ask questions, and then the teams will answer. So we'll move from there. Then the top 5 celebrity judges that we've invited to participate will pick their favorite team that has presented, and then each team will end up winning an additional $1,000 in cash prize, as well as just general recognition. So the way that track prize pools work is that there's $15,000 split among all participants within the project. So in this case, as an example, the NFT track, say, has 3 participants or 3 teams. Each team will get $5,000, whereas the infrastructure track will be split between the 6 teams that made it to the main stage. So collectively, across the spectrum of what we had this week, we had 426 projects that were created on BuIDLathon. Of that, 360 actually submitted their project to BuIDLathon. And then we had 95 incredible judges participating. And if there's so many bright lights out here, but super thanks to Don Ho for his help in putting that team together. All right, so I'm not gonna go, you kind of got a little sneak peek. But, so here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna pass it over to Danny. If everyone enjoyed the content that happened this week, Danny is our head of our content steward. She is responsible for all the stages that you got to participate in. She's an incredible human being, and she also helped put together our panel today, and she's actually gonna introduce them all. So give it up for Danny.
Thank you, thank you. I actually want to say that this is a labor of love, and it's most certainly not just me. I want to say thank you to our 37 curators who volunteered their time and energy being OGs all across the ecosystem to bring you this extraordinary content. So ETHDenver is a community project built by the community. So thank you, thank you, thank you to all our curators. We appreciate you so much, and this wouldn't be possible without you. Okay, so I'm going to introduce your celebrity judges, but right before I do that, we're actually going to tell you who the finalist projects are. So for impact and public goods, the finalists are Sesame, FundPG, and Kredit. For the infrastructure track, the finalists are Bitcoin Vitalik's Vision, BVV, Swappy, Slang, Reentrancy Proxy, Rhinstone, and Inheritable. Woo! Congratulations. For the Metaverse, NFT, and gaming, we have BaZaarK AE2, MyMule, and Synesthesia AGF. Congratulations. For DeFi, we have zkPoEX, Tribe.Kredit, and Gasly. Congratulations. And last but not least, we have for DAOs and community, we have Denoted, Member, and GovBlocks. Congratulations to all the finalists. Coming up next, we have our incredible 5 celebrity judges. So please join us on the stage. Molly Mackinlay from IPFS, Griff Green from Giveth, Chris Gulczynski from Niche, Evan Van Ness, Ethereum OG, and Sandy Peng from Scroll. I'm going to ask you all to start by telling us a little bit about you and about your project. Griff, why don't you kick us off?
Sure. Oh, wow. Thank you. So my name is Griff Green from Giveth, General Magic, dappnode, Common Stack, Token Engineering Commons, I don't know, a bunch of other things. But my main focus is how do we make nonprofits profitable? It's just horrible. Nonprofits are creating value, and I'm a firm believer. Thank you. Yes. Nonprofits create value. What the fuck is with the nonprofit label? Like, we can build economies and economic models for nonprofits, and this is what I'm focused on, and all my projects are related to.
My name's Molly Mackinlay. I have lost my voice from talking to so many amazing people, so apologies while I whisper all of my judging questions. But I work on IPFS and Filecoin. I'm here talking to folks about the amazing things they're building on the Filecoin virtual machine, which is launching in 9 days now. And I'm super, super excited to see what everyone has built here. I'm just pumped for people who are building new Web3 infrastructure, ways of making humanity's information kind of more accessible, more useful, more persistent, long-term, more resilient to all sorts of faults. And I really think that the infrastructure folks are building here is going to power the web for many, many years to come. So I'm pumped about that.
Hi, everybody. My name is Chris Gulczynski. I'm CEO of Niche. It's a Web3 social network. Before that, I was one of the co-founders of Tinder. I was one of the inventors of the swipe patent, and I co-created Bumble as well. So I've gotten to talk to a lot of people and heard some interesting dating stories, so I'm going to say I'm sorry about that. I did my best. But now I'm working on a company called Niche. It's an NFT-gated DAO that's in the disguise of a members-only interest-based club. Where we call ourselves Web 2.5. Our goal is mass adoption, bringing Web 3 to the billions of people that are using legacy Web 2 platforms.
Howdy, y'all. I'm Evan Van Ness. I'm probably best known for being the founder of weekinEthereumNews.com, which, as you might have guessed, is a weekly newsletter about Ethereum. And I am sort of between projects right now, trying to figure out what I want to do next. And so, you know, it's like an existential crisis.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sandy. I'm from Scroll. We are a zkEVM Layer 2 project working on scaling Ethereum. We're not trying super hard to be the first zkEVM, but we are trying incredibly hard to be a community-first zkEVM. And that means being open source from day one, building with the community, and also we like to hold ourselves by the highest standards possible when it comes to diversity and various other metrics. So thank you for those that hacked on Scroll this week, and for those that didn't, I won't hold it against you. We're incredibly neutral, so looking forward to everything you've built this week.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. We're so excited to have you here today, and collectively, you're going to pick our top 5 winners. With that, I'll pass the mic back to Jason, who's going to introduce the first project.
Thanks, Danny. All right, so we're going to start off with the impact and public goods track. So this is all for Griff. So, all right, so the first 2 teams, or the first 3 teams that are going to be presenting, we have Sesame, and then we have FundPG, and then we have Krypto Kredit. So if we could please get
Hello, everyone. How we doing? Yeah? Oh, it's okay, it sounds like. Who loved the Wi-Fi this weekend? My hack relates to that, so hopefully it should help fix that. I'm gonna start pitching it. So what we built, it's called Sesame. So I have a teammate who's not here, Ellie Farisi. She's a CTO over at Bello. And what we built is called Sesame. It's SMS ETH to me. It allows you to use Ethereum without the internet. So this is a wallet that sends your transactions through SMS. Oh, it's over there, we got it. And this is Sesame. Let me make this full screen. Awesome. So if any of you are familiar with Burner Wallet, that's a project that came out of ETHDenver a few years back. This is basically Burner Wallet ++. So when you arrive, you don't have to know about passwords, you don't have to know about seed phrases, and you get a wallet. This is your wallet. This is a real wallet right now. It is actually checking the balance. Checking the balances on all these networks. If you go offline, it maintains the state. When you want to send a message, it's as you'd expect, a bunch of different drop-downs. Let me paste in, let's pick an ETH address from my history. This one looks good. And we'll send this one 0.0. Classic demo gods. Pretend like you didn't see any of that. We're going to send this address 0.001. But anyway, to cut to the chase, what this does right here when you slap send, pops you open SMS. This is the SMS message with that signed transaction. The private key never left my computer. It is offline friendly. We use service workers so that if you go offline, the entire web page still loads. The reason we chose a web page instead of a mobile app, there's a lot of tiny Android phones out there in emerging markets. So if you're somewhere with slow internet, you likely have a low bandwidth device which cannot store much. And to download an entire app is several megabytes. A website like this is around 100 kilobytes. So that's an order of 100x less code. And that's Sesame. I can answer any questions. It's ready to use today. Please don't use it on mainnet yet. You will very likely lose funds because this is a wallet that was made within the last few hours. And thank you everyone for the time.
So what's your desired use case? Like you said, how would people in low-income countries use this exactly? Like just to send money for commerce or any other concepts?
Yeah, so I think the target market for the MVP you see right here is remittances. So the idea is you have very low volume. Maybe once a week, once a month, you need to send a transaction. But you don't have access to the internet often, if ever. So assuming you can load it once, live, you cache all of the data locally. It all happened in the background just now. And then you can just send out a transaction when you're ready.
Very cool. Amazing project. Great job, Sesame.
Thank you.
Am I good? OK. All right. Let's bring up FundPG. And then let's get the next team up and ready as well.
Hello, hello. How are we doing today? All right, we'll make this quick. We've all been here for a very long 2 weeks, so let's get right into it. So what we built is called FundPG. It's a little initiative to fund public goods. I originally work at the Gitcoin partnerships team, where we do a lot of top-down funding of the Gitcoin matching pool. What was that? All right, this one's working now. Let's go, even better. All right, so what we're trying to do is bottom-up funding of the Gitcoin matching pool. So what we created here today is a little slider, so individuals can allocate a percentage of their yield back to funding public goods. Now, how do we do that? Let's get on to the product.
All right, so how we do this is to create a no-loss donation pool. For the purpose of ETHDenver, we've integrated with the Aave V2 lending pool. And yeah, the vision for us to really partner with many other yield-generating products for us to make it easy for users to allocate a percentage of their yield towards public goods. So over here, we have our demo. It's a very simple product, but sometimes the simpler solutions are the best. Well, it simply involves connecting your MetaMask wallet. You can approve a token amount to transfer into the pool. And what happens after that is users deposited amount can choose the amount to deposit and how many percentage of their yield they would like to allocate towards public goods. So for our product roadmap, the first thing we want to do is to create a factory contract. So at the moment for ETHDenver, we've only integrated with Aave, but we really want to make it easy for any protocol out there to integrate with FundPG. And secondly, we want to have off-chain analytics. And what this means is we are emitting events of the amount of yield which users have donated. And there's many composable use cases that we can build from that. For example, we could track the most charitable donors. We could be utilizing zero-knowledge proofs to kind of allow users to prove that they've donated. And we can potentially use this for tax deductions. Finally, we also want additional integrations to make it easy for anybody to deploy a pool to define their specific agenda. In our case, we've worked most closely with Gitcoin, but we also want to make it easy for any pool to turn funding from a top-down approach towards a bottoms-up approach. Finally, our team. This is Luciano on the side doing BD and operations. My name is Joseph. I did the smart contracts and backend. And we have Dylan, who did most of the front end. Thank you very much, and please follow us on Twitter @FundPG.
Now, there is one last thing. I did a little collaboration with Creatures World and Gitcoin. We made these shirts for ETHDenver specifically, and they're very limited. 100% of the proceeds goes to funding public goods.
Awesome shirts. I had a quick question, which is I'm curious how you've thought about all of the people who are participating and putting resources into these public good pools, showing them and giving them a feedback loop for what they've actually helped create on behalf of this ecosystem, because really you're investing in the future growth of the entire space, and so making that kind of like a regenerative cycle for us all.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for the question. So I would say that that's kind of something we are working on, and it would be within what we want to do of off-chain analytics, as well as additional integrations. So one thing we really want to do is to have a dashboard that anybody can come onto our website, see exactly who has contributed where, and from there we can build many, many more use cases, and we can partner with individual protocols, individual projects to really build this entire ecosystem, make it normalize putting these funds towards the community, putting it towards building all these additional use cases that anybody can build on top of.
Totally agree. Thank you guys so much. It's awesome.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. That was FundPG. Up next, we have Krypto Kredit.
Hey, everybody. We're Krypto Kredit, and our purpose is we want to bring cash transactions on-chain. So let's get into the problem. Only 23% of the world has access to credit. 65% of people have access to a bank account globally. If we look at Africa and Asia, they take up about 70% of the world's population, and most of those transactions are done using cash.
So here's our solution. Krypto Kredit is a system to create on-chain credit using off-chain transactions. We use a validator network to validate all the transactions for cash payers. And we incentivize vendors and payers through lending platforms such as Huma, where they can borrow against their invoices, or they can factorize invoices that they sent to other people. And we are, because 90% of the world is on mobile, we are a Web3 DApp that is mobile first. This is our application. Anybody in the crowd can actually scan this QR code and then get access to our app immediately and check it out. Just a little breakdown on this page as well. The thing on the thing on the left-hand side is actually the profile where you can check, where the user can check their credit, and they can see the impact of the invoices being generated as well. And then on the right-hand side, we have a spectral credit score that can be generated for any user on the platform.
Now we're going to go into the process of it. The service is provided by checking first the credit score and if the user is credit receivable. Then the terms are determined by the vendor. The invoice is signed by the payer. Terms are agreed. Then you can use your invoice to go to the lending pool human, get factorization for your invoices, or share your invoices and underwrite your credit. Then the invoice get paid, and when the invoice get paid, it stacks into a full credit score that can be peer-to-peer decentralized system.
All right, let's get into our stack. To pursue such an impactful mission, we knew that the backbone of our project would need to integrate with the best of what Web3 has to offer. All right, and now into the future. Crypto Credit's first step into the future would include partnering with businesses to extend their validator network and bring Crypto Credit to the future. All right, and that's all.
And before we end it, I just wanted to say I'm Nigerian.
I'm also from Ghana.
I'm from Peru.
So
our people need this.
Yeah, this is a very personal project for us and everybody like us around the world. So yeah.
I very much, I'm from the States, but I also need this, honestly. As a nomad, it's hard to get crypto for cash, and I don't really like the banks, so I'm a big fan of this project. Well done. How does the validator network work? Can you talk about that for 30 more seconds?
Absolutely. It's kind of a hard problem to solve because we're dealing with cash transactions. But we, through our system, we have a validator system where a validator has to stake 10x whatever he's able to, whatever cash transaction he's willing to basically validate. So there's an incentive for people to try to prove that the validator is actually committing fraud or anything like that to get the bond that he has to put up. So there's players at play that are actually trying to force people to be honest participants.
But how do you validate a cash transaction?
So that's a great question. It has to do with just being present at the transfer, okay? So an individual has to be actually there to watch and validate it. So, yeah, so.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. Very cool, very cool. Thank you so much. We're out of time, but thank you. Okay. That's an amazing project. Thank you guys so much for your work.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so that wraps up our impact and public goods track. We are now moving on to infrastructure. So the first team that we're going to bring up is Bitcoin's Vitalik's Vision, or BVV, and then we're going to bring up Swappy after that, and then Slang, and then we'll move on from there.
All right, thank you. G'day. How's everyone going? Yeah, sick. Anyway, we're Bitcoin Vitalik's Vision, data availability on Bitcoin, aka Satoshi's modular stack. So let's rewind the clock back 60 days. Ordinals was on everyone's timeline. Every time I scroll past on Twitter, it was ordinals, 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 ordinals. So apart from NFTs on Bitcoin, could we do more? What if instead of image data, we put on Ethereum core data and we call it blob space for all? Not an original idea. This is from this handsome gentleman over there. A sovereign roll-up on Bitcoin.
Okay, so in case it's not obvious, we forked the OP stack, BaZaarK, and we replaced the SVG image data with the call data from the batcher, and then in turn verified that the Bitcoin transaction was included with an SPV light client. So we'll have a look at the lower level architecture.
So most of the modifications to the OP stack sort of came within the batcher. We were replacing the portion that sort of posted call data to what would typically be Ethereum with a Bitcoin client, and we were posting them in effectively unspent TapScript outputs. So this is smaller than I thought it would be, but this is some logs sort of showing what we were actually doing. So that big blob of text right there, that is some call data that we take and we compute the TapScript commitment for. That transaction gets committed to the network, and once it gets confirmed, we can construct a TapScript spend transaction and reveal the script that it was being tweaked by, and put that all into the transaction witness on chain. And yeah, once you're able to post that, you can sort of see that there's an entire transaction. Your whole sort of call data is now technically on-chain on Bitcoin, just within the witness transactions itself. And yeah, this is what a script looks like. It looks very, very similar to the ordinals scripts. It's just like op true, op false, and then like a no execution for anything that comes after that, so it doesn't mess with any other scripts in the path.
And for validation, we built an on-chain light client that runs in the EVM to validate data for fraud proofs, etc. And we wrote a Bitcoin library inline assembly. So go ahead and use it for your inscription projects. Stop. If you want to. And yeah.
Yeah, that is really awesome and totally thinking out of the box and very topical as well. I think I have a genuine question, which is, like, I've never hacked on Bitcoin before. Like, what's the biggest difference kind of building on protocol level for Bitcoin versus Ethereum?
It really sucks to build on Bitcoin. I remember when we were trying to figure out how to decode the proper like TypeScript things. There were like 4 different transaction types that all did roughly the same thing, like pay to public key, pay to public script hash, pay to taproot, pay to TypeScript. It's all slightly different. Don't know why. I also hate that everything's little endian, so you have to like reverse everything all the time. I don't know why they decided to do that. I guess like Satoshi did it, and they're like, we can't change it. It's terrible. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I hope this is the beginning of lots of fun activities on Bitcoin going forward.
Awesome. All right. Up next, we have Swappy. By the way, we're looking for a couple teams in the infrastructure. So let's just make sure we have on deck, we have Slang, Reentrance, Proxy, Rhinstone, and Inheritable. Make sure you are checking in with Derek. He's raising his hands. He's 6'2". You can reach him. All right.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm J Mill. That's Fig. And we have one more teammate who had to catch a flight, pilot. So we built Swappy, which is a way to execute cross-chain swaps by describing them with natural language. And it's built on XLR network, the Squid router, and ChatGPT. So we can start this out by saying swap 0.02 AVAX on Avalanche for 0.5 Matic on Polygon. So we run that. Swappy will fetch. And here we get our swap. So it knows we want to sell AVAX on Avalanche, and we want to buy Matic on Polygon. And then the Squid SDK is giving us the exchange rate. So then we can click swap and actually send this off. So if you don't describe it all the way, so if I just say like sell 0.02 AVAX on Avalanche, you can run that. So Swappy knows that we want to sell, but doesn't know what we want to buy. So he says, we need to know what you want to swap your AVAX for. So we select a chain, so some arbitrary ETH. We get our conversion, same kind of thing. We could execute that, and then we could say, we could switch it to buy, and it should switch it to the other side. So that's Swappy.
It's simple, it's easy, it's accessible. Like, I don't know if I have any questions. You guys did a great job here building something that is super, super easy to use. I guess maybe talk about a little bit more about what context you see this being super useful in and what maybe potential integrations you might make between Swappy and other tools to bring this ease of use to others.
Yeah, for sure. So, I think we're kind of in the second generation of language model business where it's like we found that it's really good at turning unstructured data into structured data. And, blockchains, contract calls, all of that is structured data. And you can describe what you want to do in language, but it's kind of a big disconnect to go from that to actually executing them. So you can imagine building out complex transaction paths. You can imagine somebody who's not familiar, it's like you hear about a token, you want to buy it. Right now you have to figure out what chain it's on, what DEX you can buy it on, such. And so this kind of, with a cross-chain protocol can figure that out for you. So I think these are some of the use cases that we'll see in the future. And just I'm really optimistic about interacting with the blockchain, just using the words we use in conversation.
Awesome. All right, up next we have Rhinstone. We are also looking for re-entrancy proxy. If you are in the building and you want to present, please make your way to Derek. He's waving his hand.
Cool. Hi, everyone. We are Rhinstone, and over the last week or so, we've been building a modular implementation of account abstraction on Ethereum. So kind of currently in the account abstraction landscape, it is still pretty early, but there's already a couple of problems. So there's a lot of vendor lock-in. So for example, if you have a safe deployed, it's very hard for you to switch to an Origin front end. There's lack of customization for the user, so the user can't really choose what features they want and what features they don't want. There are also knowledge barriers, and a lot of engineering work is duplicated because different teams are essentially building very similar infrastructure when really they should be focusing on building new features for the users. So the dream solution to this would be a smart contract wallet that is simple to use, custom, so the user should be able to choose the features that they want and the features that they don't want, and it should be modular, making it easy for the user to switch out features later on, add new ones, or remove existing ones. So in terms of the infrastructure, as far as we know, we've been the first team to combine the Diamond proxy standard with ERC 4337. We modified the Diamond contract standard to basically allow us to have a number of stateless plugins that can be deployed to chain once and then reused by every consumer smart contract wallet. So the user needs to deploy the Diamond account, which holds Diamond storage and points to the plugins. Later on, they can just add new plugins or remove existing ones or change state variables to change how those plugins work. The same is true for user interfaces. So a user could, for example, decide they want to interact through a MetaMask Snap, but also through session keys and also through a WebAuth interface. So now I'm going to show a quick demo. Here you go. So this is the front end, where on the left side you have a lot of plugins in different categories such as interface, recovery, banking, gaming, whatever you want. And then you can just drag them over into your wallet. So for example, here you can see a retirement plugin that basically allows the user to configure a vault where a certain percentage of their income is transferred to, and that kind of becomes their pension. So the user just adds the vault address, adds a certain percentage, saves it. And then in this example, we just deploy the wallet with those two plugins, counterfactually deploy it so the user doesn't have to pay gas up front. We've also gone ahead and instantiated it, in this case on Polygon, but we've also deployed to numerous other chains like Scroll and zkSync. And here you can see Matic is transferred, and then that fraction, so 5% in this case, is then transferred to the vault. That's it. I hope you enjoy our meme that we've been spending a lot of our creative energy over the last week. And thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you, guys. I think this is really awesome, and love to see more implementations of account abstraction and pushing the frontier forward. I feel like I need to ask a UI/UX question. I think part of the goal of the whole community is improving UI/UX, right? And obviously, there's a whole ton of like big brain problems being solved at the protocol level. But do you think the UI/UX is unduly complicated for this particular hack?
Yeah, so we essentially wanted to build the ecosystem where you can have an open source ecosystem of plugins that's similar to an IDE that has extensions or an app store that has mobile apps. How we actually envision the UX is that there would be presets. So for example, you could have a gaming preset that has session keys and NFT lending and whatever other plugins you would need. And then a gaming dApp could onboard people with that preset. But then later on, the user can come to a front end like this and say, but I also want this preset, and I also want a retirement fund, and I also want other kinds of session keys, and customize that later on.
Great. Yeah, fantastic work, guys.
Thank you. All right. Up next is Slang. Again, if re-entrance proxy is in the building, if you can please make your way to the stage left, that would be great.
Go ahead. All right. So my name is Connor. This is John. We took a break from building Intuition this week to work on some dev tooling to approach a problem that we've been encountering a lot while we're building, particularly in the decentralized data storage area. So we called it Slang. And I would like you to meet John. John is an NFT collector, bought an NFT last week. The bad thing about that is that the metadata for that NFT is stored on a centralized server. And unfortunately, that server host just decided to stop hosting that server this morning. He hasn't found out yet. He's still very happy. But his NFT is just gone now. So why did this happen, John?
All right, so I'll admit it's a pretty contrived example, but you know, it does make me sad to see that so many people will be preferring centralized solutions for data storage and tooling rather than you know, the more decentralized and trustless solutions that we have in Web3. And I think a lot of that choice is due to poor DevX and poor UX. So I really aim to solve that. We really aim to solve that with a lot of, you know, code generation and tooling. I mean, let the computers write the code so you don't have to, right? So our particular experience was with Ceramic, and a lot of it has to do with deploying the models as well as generating all of the code integrations, clients around them so that you can interact. And so Slang takes care of all of that in one simple CLI command. So all you have to do is define your data models, and Slang will just immediately generate the client, the types, everything you need to interact with a Web 2 quality stack in less than 30 seconds. And so you might ask, how do we do that? Well, we stand on the shoulders of the giants before us. So we take advantage of ComposeDB, which is Postgres-backed, but as well as IPFS-backed data storage option, as well as Prisma, which takes in a Postgres schema and generates all of the tooling from it. In addition, to make things real easy and offer a lot of options, also done some integration with DIDs, PKPs, and lit actions to sort of make a mock Web3 AWS or cloud stack. That hopefully offers pretty equivalent UX. So,
stop.
Super awesome, you guys. I know you guys didn't quite get to finish there, but I'm curious also, like, whether this is supported for things like dynamic NFTs, kind of like, you know, access-gated NFTs, private NFTs. You mentioned integrations with Lit and other tools there. Like, well, what is this unlocked for, you know, both developer ease of use and the NFT applications it supports?
Sure, yeah. It absolutely is able to support dynamic NFTs. I don't see why I wouldn't. And then, yeah, as far as like encryption, we're absolutely able to encrypt any data streams, and those are owned by the user. So that's really cool. Yeah, there's a lot of capability built there, and it's not just NFTs that you can store on decentralized storage.
Totally agree with that. Thank you guys so much. It's awesome to see what you're building.
Awesome. All right. Reentrance proxy, last call. Up next, while we wait, we have an Inheritable.
Let's just quick tech over here, move some screens around. This counts against our time. All right, last second over this one. Great, it's good to go. Hi, we're Team Inheritable. I'm Omar.
I'm Zeeler. I'm Paul.
And we used WeaveChain and Base Protocol to create Web3 wills for secure decentralized inheritance. So our stack uses WeaveChain to expose security functions with simple API calls, like building verifiable Merkle trees of claims, creating quantum-resistant dilithium signatures, managing the smart contracts used for anchoring the base, and establishing a decentralized oracle of death, all while maintaining GDPR compliance. So the first step here is actually creating that will. So our interface lets estates define a set of inheritance claims, which we put into a Merkle tree, and this lets inheritors verify that their individual claims are part of a will without revealing the whole thing. Now we anchor the roots of those trees to base to establish immutability guarantees, and then we used quantum-resistant dilithium signatures to prevent spoofing even in a quantum computing world. Next, we need to validate death. So traditionally, inheritance is managed by a centralized party like a lawyer who declares when I'm dead and gives away my assets. Instead, we name witness wallets to act as a decentralized oracle of death. They add their signatures to another smart contract on base, and consensus that I'm dead unlocks the will. And the last piece is actually collecting inheritance. So inheritors make calls to the Weave chain node to see claims associated with their wallets, and our patterns mean that everything is still GDPR compliant. Now, there's only 3 of us because we killed our 4th teammate for testing purposes. So here, you should be able to go and see. Yep, this is his inheritance with his claims and witnesses. And I was happy to declare that he was dead. And then Zealer over here was able to go and pull down his claims as well as verify that they were part of the tree. So for next steps, we are already working to be the infrastructure for Aerify to do this because there's more to the business than just infrastructure. We want triggered release mechanisms for crypto assets upon death, though we design our system to work for any asset, crypto or non-crypto. We also wanted to enable percentage-based claims. A notification engine would have been sweet. And finally, Paul made a beautiful comprehensive UI prototype that fell victim to the hackathon horse. Thanks. ETHDenver rocks, Base rocks, Weave chain rocks, and we're thrilled to be here.
So wait, do I want my people to know what they're getting? Like.
So this is the point of unlocking the will. Only at that moment where I'm dead can somebody actually understand what their part of the will was.
Oh, okay. They only just know that they have a claim.
That's right.
Okay, got it. And why did you choose the witnesses over like the typical dead man switch? You don't like dead man switch?
Yeah, I think Bequest Finance is doing the dead man switch, but it's kind of annoying. Like, I want to go and set my estate and forget it, not have to go and log in every 365 days to say I'm alive. Granted, you know, this is sort of like, is consensus actually a good thing? There is a chance of collusion that my witnesses would cheat and try to steal my assets while I'm alive, but choose smart witnesses.
Indeed.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you to everyone in the infrastructure track. All right. Unfortunately, we did not find the last of the infrastructure teams, so we're going to move on now to the NFT gaming and metaverse track. So up first, we have BaZaarK, then we have My Mule, and then we'll move from there.
Oh, this one? Okay. All right. All right. Hey, we have BaZaarK. It's Bazaar, but ZK. So BaZaarK, right? So simple pitch, you can own NFTs which have ZK attributes. So you can reveal some attributes and you can keep the rest of it hidden. You can use this in game engines, and we have built a marketplace which the game engine can update as you play the game, and you can prove that these properties are in fact correct using zero-knowledge proofs, and the game engine can obviously update them as you play the game. So imagine something like Fortnite, but with decentralized ownership, and you own the characters and the properties, and it is cryptographically verifiable. Yeah, so he will do the demo.
All right, hey everyone. If this works. Cool, okay. So this is the marketplace that we explained. Essentially, if this works. Okay, cool. So these are a bunch of NFTs that I minted. So as you can see, each of these NFTs have certain attributes, right? You got speed, endurance, armor, because those are the only ones I could remember. So now you've played all these games. You want to sell your character because someone offered you an insane amount of money. Sure, why not? So now what you can do is that person can be confident that when they buy your character, they have a proof that your character's speed is above a certain value, like 3 or 4 or 5 out of 10. But the other values are hidden. So you might be a character farmer where you just play the game 24/7 and get all the values. But it also enables people like you had a great character, now you're done with the game, sell it, get some money, and get some utility as well out of it. So what this does is when you click the tick mark button there, what it does is those zero-knowledge proofs are available on the marketplace. So you take that proof, submit it on-chain to make sure that the values that are displayed are the same as what the prover is saying. So that way you are sure that, yes, if I buy this, the values are hidden even after I buy this, and also the values are the same, and you can see it, the game engine can see it, but nobody else can see it. And this is where rollups also come into place, because when... okay, cool. Yeah.
So I guess for the last 30 seconds, I don't fully understand the exact use case.
Sure.
Can you go a little deeper? Like, why would someone not want to show all their character attributes if they're selling it?
Sure. Like, if you take the recent trends in Fog of War games, right? So you have all these game characters that you have like special guns, attributes of like skins, etc. Now, like in most games, you can go up to a character and view everything. But you have worked hard and you don't want to show this to anyone, but you want to enter PvP battles and say like, oh, you know what? I beat you and I don't want to show you anything, but you can go look online if you want to. I'm not cheating, and I have proof of it on chain, and rollups can prove that to you after each block after block after block. And with our marketplace, you can prove that, yes, my value is above yours. And I don't want to tell you how much it is, but it's above yours. The other use case also is with property ownership in the Metaverse and marketplace, right? Attributes don't have to be just games. You can put, okay.
Thank you so much. This is a really cool project.
Thank you.
Nice use of ZKs. Well done.
All right, up next we have My Mule. And while we're waiting, if you are part of the DeFi track by the project name of Gasly, please make your way over to the stage left to meet Derek. Again, this right now is My Mule.
I mean, hi everyone. Oh my God, what an audience. I'm so happy to be here. So that's our project called My Mule. Is an on-chain 3D Pokemon / Tamagotchi game with extended utility. Well, I love it. I mean, it's cute. I mean, adorable. I love it so much. So if you wonder what GameFi is, that's this. And let me explain what that does really mean. So basically, the gameplay is following. That's just the level 1. You buy this adorable NFT called Mule. So that's your hopefully forever friend that lives on blockchain and is NFT essentially. Like every responsible pet owner, you have to take care of it. So it means pet it every single day, feed it, and play with it. Yeah. And if your mule is happy, meaning the level of happiness is above 51%, so this little cloud is an indicator, it generates an in-game currency called the mule. So that's a pretty exciting thing, NFT able to generate token. Right, all right, so, the point is, if your mule is unhappy, so basically happiness goes to 0, it dies, so it really disappears. So let my co-founder explain the tech stack.
So let's talk about how this is built. This is built using a custom smart contract, which is a ERC 721. And in the smart contract, we store this GLB file, which is a 3D model on the right, and this behavior graph on the left, which is an interoperable format for defining game behavior. And the unique thing that we do here is we actually link this behavior graph to the smart contract that this NFT is minted on. So we're able to pull from any smart contract function state and render it in real time and apply it to the 3D model. And additionally, we can have actions that you do in the game fire smart contract transactions. And this interoperable format is currently in discussion and going to be supported by most major game engines and Meta and Microsoft and Amazon. So we're excited. All the files are stored in IPFS, and the application is entirely serverless and hosted on IPFS as well.
Stop.
Okay, that's it.
That's awesome. Awesome you're hosting it on IPFS. I'm also curious, I noticed you were accepting a lot of MetaMask transactions kind of throughout the course of, I think, trying to make your mule happier. I'm curious what you think you could do there that might be able to smooth the experience for a user who might not want to go into MetaMask every time they want to do one of those kind of engagement transactions with their Mule. How could you make it better?
Well, I don't understand entirely how account abstraction works, but I imagine that you could like batch transactions together, or you could have someone sign a bunch of transactions and someone else could execute them. And also, typically, you wouldn't be doing this like multiple times in a minute. We just shortened the game duration to be like 30 seconds. This would be something you would maybe come to do like once a day or something.
Gosh, that makes great sense. Thank you guys so much for the presentation. It's super cool.
All righty. Up next, we have Synesthesia. This will be the last presentation of the NFT gaming and Metaverse.
Check, check. All right. Hello, everyone. We are Synesthesia, and we are here to... Sorry? Okay. We are Synesthesia, and we're here to reimagine your NFT collection. So we've noticed some opportunities, particularly in the music NFT space. Mainly, the collecting experience isn't that exciting. You're minting. Maybe you tweet about it. Maybe you get access to a Discord. But we believe that can be a richer and more engaging experience. On top of that, you don't really have the ability to showcase these music NFTs. A lot of times it's a album artwork or a single artwork, and we haven't really diverted too much from that format. And lastly, we believe that you're not really getting to the heart of the blockchain technology just through audio NFTs. So with that, we have developed a solution through generative art, actually. And so our platform is a generative art platform utilizing music NFT metadata to actually influence the visual output. So what this does is this incentivizes fans to not only continue collecting their music NFTs, but also hold their NFTs with the knowledge that this activity will actually influence the visual output of your generative art and actually bring them closer to a more blockchain native experience. And for the artist, this actually helps diversify your release strategy by incorporating some additional elements to the NFT outside of just audio. And in this way is also enhancing your marketing strategy by having this kind of rich visual component. And all the while deepening the relationship between the fan and the artist, which is something that we value very greatly. So this is essentially your Spotify Wrapped for your on-chain collection. And as you can see here, your top artists, your top songs, your minutes listened, your top genre, essentially all this data being fed into a generative art algorithm to give you a uniquely, verifiably one-of-one piece of generative art. So what we plan to do is, with our Genesis drop, onboard the top 3 music NFT communities in Sound, Catalog, and Zora, totaling approximately 15,000 unique wallets. We'd love to get into some artist-curated drops where you can really get granular on the metadata. And then lastly, integrate with Spotify, who's got 500 million total users. And this is how the process would work. run it from the front, from the top.
All right, that's it.
All right, thank you.
So I have a question. How do you imagine the end consumer interacting with these NFTs once they've done all this? Is it going to be like a new kind of Spotify repository, or is it like how does that deepen my relationship with the music?
So it's very much tied to the narrative as well. Understanding that you are actually helping create the output by your fandom essentially. And then of course, obviously, with Spotify Wrapped, it's such a viral experience. People want to share that stuff. And this just adds another kind of visual component, really tying the emotion to the creation experience.
Cool, I love it.
Thank you.
All right, so that wraps up our NFT gaming and Metaverse tracks. Up next, we're going to jump into DeFi. First, we have zkPoEX. Then we have Tribe Kredit. Then we'll have Ghastly. And just last but not least, if you are part of DAOs and community and you are a member, please go see Derek. All right, this is zkPoEX.
Hey, what's going on, guys? First of all, we're honored to have gotten the first place of the DeFi track. One of our teammates, Fede, couldn't make it. He had to catch a flight early. Fede, we fucking love you. You're a rock star. Today we'll be presenting zkPoEX, which is essentially zero-knowledge proof of exploit.
So zkPoEX is a tool that allows white hackers to report live vulnerabilities in smart contracts without actually revealing the exploit itself.
Oops, sorry. Essentially, there's two issues with current bug bounty programs. First of all, teams are inundated with bug reports, and a lot of it ends up being spam. So a lot of the exploits that are vulnerable get essentially mismarked as not vulnerable. This is actually what happened with the wormhole hack. Another problem that we have in bug bounties is that the white hat hackers might not get paid even if they disclose, or they might get paid partially.
So in terms of architecture, what we did is run the Sputnik VM, which is a Rust implementation of the EVM, inside the RISC-0 zkVM. This allows us to compute and prove any computation inside an EVM environment. As you can see, we have private inputs and public inputs, and this generates a proof that can be verified by the project to ensure that the hack or that the exploit is actually true. Okay. So this can be generalized to all types of exploits. This is exploit agnostic. We have proven a reentrancy case for POC, but this can be used to prove any change of state in an EVM environment, basically.
So again, essentially we can copy any live state of a contract on any EVM chain, whether that's Ethereum layer 1 or Scroll or Binance chain or whatever it is, and we can submit that state onto RISC-0 and then prove the exploit trustlessly.
For future improvements, we're planning to do a CLI tool to simplify the process for auditors, to easily fetch the data, storage, and address of the contract. And we can also scale it using the Bonsai network to verify the proof. In the future, we also, early on, we will work with an escrow committee. And in the future, we can fully trustless have an on-chain approach to submitting the bounty and claiming the bounty, basically. Also, what's important of this is thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Really awesome and creative use of, and the first time I've seen anyone using the Bonsai tech stack, so that's really cool. And also really timely, as most of the zkEVM projects are moving towards auditing. I have a question about the business model. How do you imagine this kind of working in terms of in that side?
I'm sorry, business model for making profit, or what do you mean? I think I misunderstood the question on that.
Yeah, business model for making the project sustainable.
So the first goal of this is to really just make DeFi safer. That's the thing that we really care about the most, is we're in the wild, wild west of finance right now. And as a programmer, there's always fucking bugs, right? So the first step is to make reporting vulnerabilities more incentivized so that people don't hack projects and that we can actually make sure to patch these issues in a responsible way. From a business point of view, of course, you could take a small percentage of the bug bounty claim, which I believe would provide value to the projects themselves.
Yeah, awesome, thank you.
All right. Oh, man. Up next, we have Tribe Kredit.
Hey, Denver, how's it going? Welcome to Tribe.Kredit. What is Tribe.Kredit? Tribe.Kredit is a peer-to-peer lending protocol that empowers anyone and everyone, I mean everyone, to provide or receive credit. The current state of credit. This looks very familiar. It's very Web 2, very top-down. The issue with the current state of credit is that many people don't have access to it, and second of all, it's limited to its top-down centralized party and top-down structure. Meet Tribe.Kredit. We use existing social networks and Web3 ethos of autonomy, self-custody, and bottom-up economics to facilitate credit and lending in a revolutionary way. I'll pass you on to Mendel. He's the man who made DeFi accessible for everyone with his stuff.
I paid him to say that. All right. Okay, so here we're just going to hop right into the UI because we're hoping that's going to be self-explanatory. One of the things that we focused on in this application was that it be a Web 2 experience. This should be like downloading a regular app, and that it shouldn't be anything confusing or anything that would make somebody feel uncomfortable or not confident that they know what they're doing. The system just relies on you entering a phone number, clicking sign in, and over here what's happening in the background is that there's a smart contract wallet, and we're going to be creating two signatures. The first is the phone number, and the second is the actual the phone itself, which is going to be a hardware wallet. Those two signatures are masters and can confirm transactions. And right off the bat, after I enter my phone number, I somehow have available credit. Now the question is how? Who is lending me this money? Tribe users add money into the system, then go through their contacts to choose how much they trust each person with. Now, who sees when I borrow? Well, nobody sees when you borrow. Lenders only know that somebody that they trusted is borrowing from them. What happens if I don't pay back? Well, after repeated warnings, it will be revealed to your lenders, which includes friends and family, that you owe them money. You may also be added to the system's blacklist. If you use the lending pools themselves, those funds may be used to pay back lenders. And now we're going to have just a quick graph to show what that looks like. Abe deposited $100, and Lisa deposited $100. John, and they both trust John each with $100. So John's pooled credit is $200. And now you're also going to be able to have Yumo, which is our partner, also be able to provide credit to our users. And anytime somebody borrows, it distributes it amongst the people that they're borrowing it from, and they don't know that you're borrowing it, and they don't know, and you don't know who you're borrowing from. And if you
So this is a cool hack. I'm curious how you plan to bootstrap the network of all the people that have this going on. And also, two questions in one. Like, aren't you worried about getting SIM swapped and whatnot?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
SIM swapped?
Oh, so that's an excellent question. So one of the SIM swap problem is a legit problem, but the way we're having it set up is that basically when somebody authorizes a user to be able to borrow from them, it's essentially a limited time approval. And also you have to be in each other's contacts for the credit to apply. So we're using a few other factors to ensure that credit won't be able to just be used by anybody. And if certain parameters are not met, you have to be confirmed again by the person who's giving you the permission. Yeah. I thought, okay. Yeah, so basically, essentially when a user signs up, there's benefits to somebody who's lending, and therefore they have incentive to share with their friends, like, hey, download this app, I gave you credit, and I'm not going to know when you borrow, but there's benefits to me if you ever do.
All right. Up next is Ghastly, and then we'll move shortly into DAOs and community.
Awesome. Hey everyone, we are Team Gasly from India, and thanks for having us here today. So Gasly is a simple Chrome extension that lets you pay your gas fees in any token of your choice while using your favorite dApps. I mean, you could be using Uniswap, OpenSea, CowSwap, whatever, right? If you have our extension installed, you start getting an option to pay the gas fees in any token of your choice, right? And I mean, that's what the great part is, right? You don't even have to move to a new product and still have a much better experience of using the existing products, right? We are live on Polygon mainnet, and we are going to demo you this live on Uniswap. So here you have the from token. You can select, let's say, USDT, or so you start getting the option for USDT, right? Or Matic, or whatever you want to select, right? So let's say we select USDT and we click on swap. So this transaction is actually happening in real time. We sign the transaction. And that's it. We can even see the transaction being there on Polygon scan. In a while, maybe we can reload it. But yeah, anyway, so this is what Gasly is, right? And as I mentioned before, you can also select different tokens. If you select, let's say, DAI, you get an option to pay in DAI as well. One of the interesting parts is that while we were building this, we also shared it with our community members that we had. And we already have around 800 odd users already using it, and with a lot of great reviews as well. So that's something great. I mean, pretty interesting for us, to be honest. So yeah, pretty much this is Gasly. If you guys also want to use it, please, this is our QR code that you can scan and join the waitlist. And we should be having some airdrops as well soon, just in case you want to use it out. Thank you so much.
Wow. Yeah, no, this makes me wish I thought of this earlier. A really amazing idea. I have a question. What's been like the biggest challenge building this, and why do you think no one has done it before? It seems like a very obvious gap in the...
Sure, absolutely. I think the biggest catch here is that the process of getting the approval to deduct the token from your wallet is not really straightforward in all the chains. For example, the reason why we could do this in Polygon very straightforward immediately was Polygon has this execute meta transaction function as well as permit functions. What it does is that it gives any smart contract the ability to deduct tokens from your wallet without the gas, right? So everything that you saw was completed without us having Matic in our wallet, right? So now to be able to do this on Ethereum, we need to use the EIP 2612, which is a bit far away, right? Or you have to hack your way around, which is something that, of course, nobody has tried it yet, and we are working on it. I mean, look, honestly, innovation takes hard work and effort to build, right? So that's where we are. So in fact, while we have made it live on Uniswap, we can also show you the prototype for CowSwap. So this is how it's going to look on CowSwap, right? And we are doing this for OpenSea on Ethereum as well pretty soon. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Just really quick, can you go back to the, I would love to see what it looks like on Polyscan.
Poly what, sorry?
On Polyscan, like the block explorer?
Yeah.
Because it didn't quite load, and I'd just love to see it.
Yeah, this is what it is. So you can see the transaction is a success. Even the tokens transferred, you can see these are the contracts that we executed.
It's very cool. Well done, guys.
Thank you so much. Also, a quick shout out to our team sitting back in India who has been helping us out with this as well. They couldn't make it here, but you guys are rock stars. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, we're now going to move on to DAOs and community. This is our last track, our last three. And then from there, the judges are going to go back and they're going to end up picking their top 5 picks. So first up, we have Denoted, then we have Member, and then we have GovBlocks. So Denoted.
Hello, we're Team Denoted, and for this hackathon, we asked the question, how do we fetch and visualize blockchain data best? So if you look at the space today, we have many prevalent actors, such as Dune, Covalent, Subgraph, and many more. All fantastic products that can use data from the blockchain space. But imagine writing a newsletter to your DAO, a monthly letter to your shareholders, or just a blog post with the latest blockchain stats. We would need custom-built solutions, or at least consult multiple data sources to gather the information we want. So what's the solution? We built Denoted. It's an open-source knowledge management editor that easily integrates data from the blockchain by leveraging these powerful APIs directly into your editor in one single space. Let me show you. So the idea is simple. You start by signing in with your wallet, and then you just click Create, and then you're off to writing and editing whatever you want. A blog post, a newsletter, a white paper, and so on. Whenever you want to fetch some blockchain data, you simply make a slash, and you can get the data. Denoted is open and composable so that each community or team could use Denoted in accordance with their needs. Our vision is for creators to utilize our tool to share Web3 insights with the rest of the community, visualized in the way that fits you. And that would be our small contribution to bringing in the next billion users. Thank you.
Wow, this is incredible, and it looks like we have some extra time. So, are you guys planning on adding this into Medium or some other? What's the Web3 version? Mirror, to make this accessible to anybody? I mean, it's just incredible to have a blog post that's always updating with on-chain data. Do you plan on any integrations?
We did talk about it. I think it's very early. We have talked about some horizontal next steps, for example, adding more integrations, more functionalities. It's still very much an MVP. We also talked about the vertical next steps, if we would add some permission-based workspaces, for example, some token-gated spaces, for example. So we're still in the talks with it.
And really quick, what's the sustainability model? How do you guys make money using this or building this?
We haven't really gotten that far, but I mean, just a simple subscription with stuff is pretty good, I think.
Oh, cool. Subscription model. That's fantastic. Well done. That's a really beautiful product.
Thank you, guys.
All right. All right. Up next, we have Member.
Great job, guys.
Hello, guys. Thanks for spending time listening to us today. We are building Member. We are delivering standardized membership with expiry model built through ENS name wrapper. So the team. I'm Julie Shi.eth, and this is Harry, Haorikun.eth. And we have two other members, but they need to go back and take their college exam. So they're not here, but they are wonderful. And we are all from Org3. And Org3 is an ENS-endorsed project that we want to push the boundary of more ENS name and subname use case. So here's the problem. There's two downsides of NFT or token membership. First is that by nature it's one-time payment. And with that being said, the barrier of entry is very high because, here the firm's benefits cost about $4,000 a year ago, and even more expensive back then is about 10K. And the other is that the core team or the community lead are not incentivized in long term to deliver consistent value to the members because they make most of the revenue at the beginning of the initial sales. So what about we build a
a membership with expiration. That is not a new thing, right? That is not hard to think. But let's re-put it this way. How do we build an interoperable and composable solution? That's the hard one. And I believe ENS name wrapper is the right solution. ENS has 2.6 million name registered and has a lot of DApp that already have their infrastructures. So that's good to start. And the other is that it has expiry on chain. So with that being said, we build our platform. The admin and the users can have all the features. And we build a standardized API for subname gated access control. I'm going to show you a real quick demo. This is something I've been testing out for the last week. And it has 31 membership claim. But I'm going to do this because it is new. I'm going to do a new membership job. I know, Alicia, you are here, the lead of ENS, governance of ENS. And I'm going to drop you the first membership here. And people can also mint. And with that being said, I can change your wallet. I can mint another subname because we don't have time. I'm just probably go to my plans. And the upside of name wrapper is it says ERC 1155, and that means we can resell it. Thank you.
So ENS is live on mainnet. It's kind of an expensive place to be doing this for memberships. Do you have a plan for how you deal with gas costs or scaling issues?
Yeah, so there are different ways of approach that. First is using L2 like Optimism as a solution. And the other one is we can use, ENS actually supports DNS. And the vision is actually have DNS to be 80% of the ENS ecosystem in the future. So with DNS, the cost will be way lower. And we also have bulk create in our platform. So that anyone can benefit from the bulk creation because we save gas fee too. And with that said, feel free to sign up for it, and we're going to bulk create all the subname for you guys. Just check out that QR code.
Incredible work. That's amazing. Well done.
Thank you, thank you. We don't really sleep in the last weeks. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Yeah.
Beautiful project.
All right. Here we go. This is the last one. This is GovBlocks. And then we'll move to the final part. All right, give it up for GovBlocks.
Does this work? Welcome to GovBlocks. My name is Eric, this is Bargav and Evan. Special shout out to Oz, who's at home right now. He got violently ill and wasn't able to make it. We help communities govern better so they can build more. I spoke with over 100 DAO thought leaders, and they shared with me their pain points, including low participation and depleting treasuries. But one pain point stood out above the rest. DAOs get stuck with incomplete or overly cumbersome governance models. And when the governance models break, so do the DAOs. Communities need a governance model that can evolve as the community evolves too. And GovBlocks achieves this through infinitely scalable diamond smart contracts. Participation modules can amplify or decrease the weight of a vote based on good or bad voter behavior. Consequence modules can punish community members who violate community rules. There's an infinite amount of modules that can be created, such as zk identity, reputational badging, memberships, harbinger taxes, and much more. GovBlocks integrates with your existing domain, so your community never has to leave your native website in order to access proposals, voting, or the marketplace. GovBlocks addresses the very large 200 billion, or roughly, marketplace for DAOs and NFTs, and we take a slice of the action. In the past 6 days, we've hacked about 70% of the core features of our top competitor, which took them about 7 years to do. We're really grateful to be here at ETHDenver. Thanks for being here. We'll go into a little live demo now. So this is a sample DAO that we launched on 3 different chains. We launched it on Binance, on Base, and on Polygon. And you can see here you have a bunch of options. This is the governance settings for the DAO. Now, after the DAO is deployed, anyone can propose a change. And when they propose the change, it creates a proposal. And if the proposal receives majority vote before the vote deadline ends, then the changes are in effect brought into the smart contract. You can, in this case, let's say that you wanted to experiment with a weighted voting participation module. You could track how often community members participate. And if they continuously vote over and over and over, you can give them extra weight on their token. If you have 1 token and you have an extra weight factor of 3, your 1 token could count as 3 votes. And this is just one of the many modules that we can add pretty much at any time. So yeah, GovBlocks is a fully decentralized DAO management platform, and we're just really grateful to be here. So thank you very much.
So very cool. One thing, there has been at least 1 GovBlocks in the past. So that name may be a hackathon name. Like, I'm curious how modular it is. Like, I mean, I feel like given how, like, the things that you showed so far, it's, you know, like you have some frustrations with voting in the past. Like, you know, how flexible can you get it, like with modules and whatnot?
Yeah, great question. So the specialty of the diamond contracts is that, think about it, diamonds as you know, there's a main contract, and behind it there's a bunch of subcontracts, and you can add infinite amount of subcontracts. So there's infinite amount of logic that's possible to add to it. So virtually there's no limit. Now, typical smart contracts, they have a storage limit. You know, you have a contract size limit. All of that doesn't apply to the diamond contracts, and so that way the DAOs can evolve and keep adding logic as they go and as they're evolving.
Cool, thank you.
All right, that wraps up our top 18, actually top 17, because we missed one team. So here's what's going to happen next. The judges are going to go, and they're going to go backstage. They're going to deliberate for about 10 to 15 minutes. They're going to come back in about 10 to 15 minutes, and they're going to present their top pick out of the top 17. And so if you guys would be more than happy to stand up, you can go back to the green room. Derek, our amazing community steward, he's going to come up on stage, talk a little bit about Camp Biddle, talk about community, and then we might have a special appearance by a guest. So, well, the judges have finished deliberating. They have picked their top 5. So here's how the rest of the evening is going to go. We're going to bring the top 5 judges. They're going to present who their favorite project is. We have enough time so that way our photographers can get a photo with their judge with the pick. And then from there, look at that. We love Developer DAO. There we go. So, sorry, guys. All right. So, if we could bring back the celebrity judges, and then we'll finish this up, and then we'll go from there. So, please welcome the judges. Buffy, you're more than welcome to stay. All right.
GM. Well, if I get to be the voice, let me tell you, that was really hard. These projects were incredible. This was the best.
It was spicy.
It was spicy back there. We had some fierce debates. We had to go back into the BUIDL box and figure out could they really do that? And it was incredible. Can we get a round of applause for everyone who was up here? Because it was amazing. I've judged a lot of these, and I've never seen so many applications that were so great. For me, my choice, it was really tough, but I have to give it to FundPG. It's beautiful, simple, and honestly, we've wanted to do it on Giveth forever. So, like, go talk to Mitch. He's trying to build this. So thank you so much. And I'm cheating, and I want to give a special shout out to Denoted. Honorable mention. Great product.
I think teams, as you're called, you're supposed to come up here and take a picture with your judge who has picked you as #1. So FundPG, come up on stage and take a picture. They're coming.
Hey, hey.
Let's fund public goods, baby. Let's take the community. Let's take the universe. Let's do this together. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Griff, thank you.
I appreciate you all. It takes the universe to fund public goods. I like it, but I will never be like this. Thank you.
Awesome. On my angle, I have to give it up for Swappy. You guys built something beautiful, easy to use. I can really see the applications, bringing this into kind of like, messaging with folks. Someday we're going to integrate this in with like all of the different assistant technologies. So really give it up for Swappy. Guys, come up on stage. Would love to take a photo with you.
So, this is probably the hardest decision I've had to make in quite some time. And multiple times other judges held me back from picking one team over another. But it's simply because everyone is just so great, and it's fantastic to see so many excellent projects being built here. So, my top choice is zkPoEX. So I picked zkPoEX because that's the one that I think I'm most likely going to use and look into after this hackathon. So it's super biased, but well done, guys. And I want to give honorable mentions to Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. I think that's a really interesting project, and well done, guys, too. So well done. Well done.
So as a condition of being up here, I really was trying to get it that I would have to wear the Bufficorn costume, but unfortunately they didn't let me. I thought it would be funny when I took it off and everybody was like expecting it to be Vitalik, and instead you'd be disappointed with me. So I'm tempted to pull an audible, but my choice is BaZaarK. I thought, look, zero knowledge is the future, and it's a really cool little, application. So congratulations, guys. Come on up. And my honorable mention was Inheritable, because wills are a real thing, and I think they're super cool, and it's like a lot of people have done it, but like putting it into production is awesome. So I love that too, guys. They don't want to take a picture with me. I understand. My wife doesn't either.
Thank you so much, Matt. They had to leave. Yeah. Do it. Thank you so much, man. Cheers.
Okay, last but not least, I took a look at the design of everyone's projects, and there are a lot of really well-designed projects, so my decision definitely was not easy. But I got to go with Sesame. Great-looking product. Your design fits your use case. instantly usable by any consumer today. So well done. Come on up. There they are.
Oh, cool. Yeah, here. No, I can hold it.
All right, how awesome were all those projects? And how awesome were our judges? All right. Well, that wraps up the BUIDLathon for 2023. Do we have another mic for Derek? There we go. Cool. I don't know how to. I don't want to close this out.
Aww.
It's like after 6 months of planning all this.
Jason and I trauma bonded getting ETHDenver ready for everyone. So genuinely, if you would like to show a little bit of gratitude for all of the folks that have been on site, the coffee folks, the volunteers, the sponsors at their booths, the venue staff, everyone that made ETHDenver possible, it would mean a lot to us. A little round of applause for all the folks behind the scenes, AV, parking, all your Uber drivers, truly. It takes a lot. It's a free event. We really try to make it accessible for folks, and we know there's bumps in the road along the way, but we appreciate y'all coming out and making it special. This was year 6, Year of the Spork.
And we got Year of the Spork Whale next year.
Year of the Spork Whale next year. And I don't know if anyone caught John's one slide that was like, oh yeah, ETHDenver, Europe, and Asia. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Probably nothing. It's like, all right, that's alpha, I guess.
Yeah.
ETHDenver Prague.
And how awesome was Leah Lamar?
Aw, big shout out for Leah. Do I get a shirt?
Ooh, one.
Oh, aw. Patricio, thank you for being a special member of the community. Everywhere you go, shining love. If you love Patricio, a big warm round of applause. POAP would not be what it is without him. Nouns DAO would not be what it is without him. We would not be what we are without Patricio. I love you.
I think in the celebration of like community, I'd be really interested to hear from our like judges as we kind of wrap up. What was like the biggest takeaway or the thing that you enjoyed the most about ETHDenver 2023?
It's always the hackathon for me. So many cool projects, so much innovation, so many people learning how to build these things and combine protocols. And like, you know, I kind of like the bounties setup where it's like, well, yeah, try to combine like these 4 bounties together and see what you get. It's that interoperability and just the hacker vibe of everything. It's just, I live for it. It was beautiful.
For me, it's the people, man. Like, I got to meet so many cool people. I got to hear so many cool stories, especially Tinder and Bumble stories. So thank you again. But very cool. Everyone's been so cool. Everyone's been so welcoming. This was my first one, too. So thanks for making me feel welcome.
Thank you.
For me, it's always community connection, like just getting real human touch points. It's so many different projects, finding those opportunities for builder teams to come together, find collaborators, make something amazing with each other. I feel like these in-person events are so wonderful after a chunk of time where we weren't able to get together in person, and I just love the energy that forms in these kind of community gatherings. So thank you so much for organizing it and putting it on.
This is my first time attending ETHDenver, but I'm just in awe of the organization and how many different side events there are. So, you know, the variety and the diversity and how the whole city comes together. Every taxi driver knows about this. Every restaurant owner knows about this. And, you know, I think that's a fantastic city and also a fantastic organizers that can make this happen. So thank you, guys.
Tens of thousands of people in a bear market. This is what mass adoption looks like, y'all.
Thank you all for being here, and thank you all for being here. This has been ETHDenver 2023, but it's not quite over yet, just because you saw all the amazing stuff in our BUIDLathon, which is, as always, the core of our community. We still have a little bit more. We get to unwind together if you stick right here in this room for just a little bit. we're going to be having a happy hour with free food and beverage. A little clap for the food and beverage team. They've been working really hard, especially Good Heart Coffee. Love you all. And we're going to have not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 different musical artists, at least. I've had a hard time keeping track of them, here for our closing party. So if you're excited for the rest of the evening and to stick around and deepen those connections with folks, give it up in advance for our musical artists. And then show of hands, is anyone coming to the mountain retreat afterward? Just coming up to Breck? All right, see y'all there. Thank you again. This has been ETHDenver.